Hi everyone, thank you for coming today. I teach Buddhism and I learn in purelandschool.com. Anyone can learn there, but not everyone knows what we learn, what we do, what we teach. So I do these videos for you guys to know about it. So today I'm going to talk about something might be a little hard to understand, but I'm going to do my best. So, Amida Buddha. Who is Amida Buddha? So Buddhism is the teachings of Buddha, right? There was a Buddha. There are many Buddhas in the universe, countless Buddhas, but there was one Buddha who was born as a human here on earth 2,600 years ago, and his name is Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha, the Buddha on earth, on this planet. So he taught, just like all other Buddhas, all of them teach about this, about the primal vow, or Amida Buddha's vow. So this is what I want to talk about today. So Amida Buddha is the master of Shakyamuni Buddha and also the master of all other Buddhas, all the countless Buddhas in the universe. So what makes him to be the master? Why is he so great? Because of this, because of the primal vow. Okay? So in Japanese, it's called, because Buddhism is very popular in Japan right now because of history. So Buddhism was born, not actually, but on this planet, the one who came to teach the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he was born in what is now India, in Nepal, right? And the language at that time was Sanskrit. So then the writings, the teachings, the sutras were translated into Chinese. And from Chinese was also brought or translated to Japanese. So that is why we are very familiar, a little familiar with Japanese, because it's very related to Buddhism. So the primal vow in Japanese is called Mida no Hongan. Mida means Amida. No, it's like off in Japanese, like when something belongs to something or someone. So Hongan is the main promise or vow. So that is Mida no Hongan. It's the same as the primal vow. If you want to do some research, you may find this also, Mida no Hongan, the primal vow. Also the 18th vow. So why the 18th vow? Because this comes from the 48 vows. So there are actually 48 vows. And where you can find this information? In the sutra. There are many sutras, more than 7,000 sutras, but the most important sutra, because it's like a briefing or a summary of the teachings of Buddhism, is the largest sutra of infinite life. That's the name, the largest sutra of infinite life. And there you can find the 48 vows of Amida Buddha. And within those 48 vows, you can find the 18th vow, which is the main or the primal vow, the most important vow, the intention of the Buddha. So what is the main promise or vow? This is the promise. To save all sentient beings into absolute happiness without fail. I'm going to read again. To save all sentient beings into absolute happiness without fail. So we need to understand this. What is the meaning of save? To save. Save from what? Into what? Well, the answer is here. Into absolute happiness. So he wants to save us from, we don't know, into absolute happiness. From suffering. He wants to save us from suffering. Because we are suffering. And we want to become happy. Buddhism is the path to become happy and truly happy. How? By attaining enlightenment, basically, but by attaining absolute happiness. We are suffering, we want to become happy, and we can actually become absolute happy, absolutely happy. Absolute happiness, to attain absolute happiness. From suffering into absolute happiness. This is salvation. This is to save. He wants to save us from suffering into absolute happiness. And he wants to save not just us humans, he wants to save all sentient beings. So what is the meaning of sentient beings in Buddhism? It means living beings, like humans, animals, etc. Right? Everything that is alive. To save all sentient beings into absolute happiness without fail. So what is absolute happiness? Is to have true peace of mind and satisfaction. True peace of mind. Do we have true peace of mind here on earth as humans? We don't. We are constantly bothered somehow. Bothered. We suffer, we struggle. We have happy moments. Oh yes, we do. But then suffering comes again in different forms. We suffer from this or from that. And we never get to have true peace of mind and satisfaction. And Amida Buddha wants to grant us this, to everyone. So now comes the question, how? How? Granting, he wants to save them, us, everyone. Granting them is everyone. Granting them rebirth in the Pure Land. So rebirth in the Pure Land. So rebirth means to be born again, right? This is rebirth. But that doesn't mean that we were already born there. It means, because in Buddhism it is taught, I'm pretty sure you have heard about reincarnation, right? To be reborn. So in Buddhism it is taught that when we die, it's not like everything is over. Not at all. Actually, everything continues without ending. So that's a kind of suffering also. To be born, to live, to die, to be born, to live and die. And I'm not saying that we are born only as humans. We go changing life forms. And there are forms, life forms, that we suffer much more than the one we have right now. And there are those where we suffer less. And the one that we don't suffer at all is when we are born as Buddhas, finally, which is like the final stage. So how do we get there, right? We don't want to suffer, of course, right? So how can we get there to that point? So that's all about Buddhism. So he wants to grant us rebirth in the Pure Land. This means he wants to make us be born in the Pure Land. The Pure Land is the place where there is no suffering. So imagine suffering, any kind of suffering, and then try to imagine no suffering. That would be the Pure Land. So when there is no suffering, what do we have? True peace of mind and satisfaction, happiness, absolute happiness, no suffering. That's the thing we want, of course. So that's why I make this video, so you guys know about this. So when we attain this rebirth in the Pure Land, it means we attain enlightenment. Very famous word, enlightenment, right? So this also means to be born. These are like synonyms, actually. To be born as a Buddha. When you attain rebirth in the Pure Land, you are born as a Buddha. You are not born as a human being or any other thing. You are born as a Buddha. And you are liberated from suffering. So again, what is suffering? In short, suffering is to have a dark mind, Buddhist term, I'm going to explain, to have blind passions, also Buddhist term, and to have or live through the 4 sufferings, 8 sufferings, also Buddhist term. So suffering, again, dark mind. When we have a dark mind, we suffer. We are suffering because we have a dark mind. So what is a dark mind? A dark mind, to have a dark mind is to have a mind in the darkness, in black, in the ignorance, darkness When a room is dark, you cannot see, so you don't know what is there, what is not. So, so that's a dark mind. It's a kind of suffering when we don't know what will happen to us or what comes next after this lifetime, because we know we are alive and we know we're going to die, but we don't know anything else, right? So after that, there is something called afterlife, the afterlife. When we don't know about our afterlife, we suffer in this present life. And of course, we suffer in the future because we are not doing anything or nothing is going on in order to change that. So this can be changed. And when this changes, and we attain rebirth in the Pure Land, we don't have a dark mind anymore. We have a bright mind who knows, or that knows, what will happen right after we die. So death becomes something that is not like a real issue or a big problem, which is a big problem for everyone. Also, we suffer because of our blind passions. So blind passions is also a Buddhist term, means like emotions, in short. It's not actually that, but desire, anger, envy. We want to be happy, and when someone becomes like slightly happier than you, and you don't know that someone, you may feel envious for that. This is a blind passion, and this torments you. We should be glad that other people are happy as well, or more, or even happier. But instead of that, we get envious. Yeah. So that is not helping us to become happier. And when we desire something we don't have, or we already have, but we want more, and we always want something. It's not about having or not having something that you want. It's about wanting things all the time. This is kind of a suffering as well. This is a kind of suffering, desire. And then anger, when you want something and something blocks your way, or you're bothered constantly from things. For example, someone tells you a bad word and you get angry. You are suffering not because of that someone who told you something, because of the anger itself, the blind passion. So we have many blind passions, and these make us suffer. When we become a Buddha, we don't have these blind passions tormenting us anymore. And the fourth suffering, eight sufferings, means to suffer because of aging, for example, sickness, dying. When you die, even if you had a wonderful life, you have to give everything away and start over. Yeah, if you are born as a human again, right after that, which is not what I'm saying. But anyhow, even if you're born as a human every time, you still have to lose everything once and again. I mean, every time. That's not cool. And also because of death, especially, you have to say goodbye, even during lifetime, even while you are alive, from people you love or things you love that that you lose because of death. And they die, you die, and yes. It doesn't. It's not happening all the time, but it is happening for sure. It's not like we are born and we have a wonderful life and everybody dies at the same time. It's not like that. And when we have to say goodbye, when we have to part from people or things we love, we suffer. This belongs to the four sufferings, eight sufferings in Buddhism. So we don't have any of this when we attain rebirth in the Pure Land. Because when we are born as a Buddha there, we don't get sick, we don't age. It's a pretty good place, I would say. I have to finish this video because of time. I cannot do any longer than 15 minutes. So these are synonyms. To attain rebirth without the loss of the body. This is the level 51st of enlightenment, also called near perfect enlightenment. This happens in this lifetime. When you are board on the ship of salvation, or when you attain enlightenment or perfect enlightenment, you will attain the 52nd, which is the highest level of enlightenment, in your next lifetime. Yes, that's all for today. Thank you.